Sean here with BaseMint Comics. It's Wednesday, June 17th. It's new comic book day. Lots of things going on here, so we're going to get right to it and pedal up to the shop to pick up our new books. So, Hank, let them know where we're going.
The comic book store?
Now, here is now, and that's where we were. The faster it goes, the more it blurs. Sleep, I don't wanna sleep, 'cause I miss the now. So let's raise a toast to living. Here's to the light on the run. Raise up your glass. Time's a charm. They say you can have all of what you want to do. It must be true. Oh, 'cause I've got time's a charm. Here's to the light. Spread on the run. Raise up your glass. Time's a charm. Here's to the light. Spread on the run. Raise up your glass. Want the ups to well outlast the downs, down, down, down. Want the ups to well outlast the downs, down, down, down. Want the ups to well outlast the downs, down, down, down. Want the ups to well outlast the downs, down, down, downs.
All right, we are back. The tea is made. My wife put it in a lovely Spider-Man cup. She said in honor of the great Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer that came out today. Looked fantastic. Got our tickets. We're pretty jazzed for that. So, you know, it's been a while since we've seen a Marvel movie in the theater. So I'm looking forward to that. If you didn't watch the most recent Cornerbox Classics, which, you know, why wouldn't you? But if you didn't, if you're like I don't really care about books from the 80s, I only want to hear Sean bemoan new comics. Sunday, a little bit of, we got hit with like what felt like a 4-hour monsoon where the rain was just coming down and it like no amount of solid gutters could hold the rain, so it overflowed. There was so much rain, which caused a little bit of rainwater to get just a little bit, just enough to be like, fuck this. No comics were damaged. There was one comic that was damaged, but it was this ginormous Fantastic Four Behold Galactus book that they put out like 10 years ago. And my wife was devastated. But there's a silver lining here that I will get to. That was the only thing that was damaged. Bookcases were fine. Everything was fine. Got the stuff up, put industrial fans on it, dried it out. But in the process of this was just like, hey, we hate the floor. We've hated the carpet that's been down in here since we moved in here. I'm sure it's from 1992. And so we were like, we're going to get rid of that. So we met with a bunch of people who tossed out bids for coming in here and putting down a nice, like, vinyl wood floating floor, which is going to be great. It's going to make, like, I'm looking forward to it. It sucks. It's goodbye mid-grade X-Men #1 from 1963. That's not happening. Floor's happening. But that'll be happening next Friday. So right now, what you don't see is that this whole place is in disarray because I need to pack 17,647 comics, all of these action figures, Legos, everything. Find room for them in the house somewhere. And everything's in bookcases. I don't really do boxes, so that's delightful. And I also have to rip up all of the carpet and get the Eisenhower administration era tiles off the floor before they throw down the vapor lock thing and throw down all that. Anyways, you're like, I don't give a shit about your floor, dude. Yeah, I know. But that's what's going on here. So, Cornerbacks Classics this weekend will most likely be in jeopardy because I will be hauling ass trying to get this done because it's just me. My wife was like, would it be cost effective? Like, would they take off some money if we got rid of the carpet? And I was like, anyways, it's me. Yeah, so that is what is going on currently. So I was like, I had legitimately I was like, everything's in its perfect place. I had redone The Office, all the FF and Hulk and Thor stuff is in there. It was great. Got a whole Avengers section. I was gonna do a room tour, and now I get to do a room tour with even more of a reason to show it off again, because it'll be a whole revamp. But Cornerbacks next Wednesday, I might be coming from a secret location that's not here for new comics, maybe. But, I don't normally ask people to like, comment, or subscribe, but I would not like to. I think I've been building a good thing for the past year. So, if I'm not around for a week, go back into the catalog. There might be something you like, just to remind you that I'm still here. But that is the chaos that is happening around here right now. There's carpet up there. All the Avengers stuff is boxed up. All the Fantastic Four stuff is boxed up all over there. Cut this together so it didn't look like utter chaos, but looking around, if you saw my vantage point, you'd be like, holy smokes, disarray. But like I said, nothing was damaged. Oh, so the Behold Galactus thing that got water in, and I told my wife immediately. I was like, we caught this really quickly. We know what the cause is. We were able to fix it. We're able to get a new floor. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like a woe is me. Like, dude, got out of here, best case scenario. Wanted to get rid of the carpet anyway, so this is the perfect opportunity to do it. Does it suck having to box all this stuff up? Yeah, sure. I like coming down here. It's like a cozy, warm blanket. But loads of folks have it worse, and there's tons of stuff other than that that's way more important. That's fucking awful. So this isn't, but my wife felt pretty bad about like that getting. Because she was like, when you bought this all those years ago, you were like, it's really cool. It's this, Galactus-sized Galactus stories in this book. So she spent a day and a half, like, blow drying the bottom of each page meticulously so that the book does not stick together. And I was busy, obviously, like getting this ready to go, making the appointments with the floor people, all that jazz. So I, at one point I came up and she had started to, she was like, you know, I've been staring at this and the time it takes me to like do this, I've been reading this. She was reading the John Byrne stuff, where, you know, all of the Avengers, you know, the Terax stuff. And it was funny because she pointed out one of the panels, where like Terax smashes thing through the floor and it's the cutaway of the Baxter building. I would reference it, but it's in a box over there. And she was like, oh, I just think this panel's really cool. And I was like, I love cutaways. I specifically talked about that in that episode of Cornerbox Classics, about how much I love cutaways. And so then she was like enthralled by the Frankie Ray of it all. And it was just very exciting. She has read the Cohen era X-Men stuff, but that's pretty much the only comics that she's ever read. And so I was very excited that she she was like, no, this Byrne Fantastic Four was really good. And like she gets a kick out of it because of, you know, having seen all the MCU films and stuff like that. Like she pretty much has a handle, and I mean and knowing me for 21 years, you know, she's got a pretty good handle on the Marvel universe. So that is what is going on in BaseMint Comics HQ. Construction. So, last week's books, I read about half of them before disaster struck, and I was like, I can't. And I tried to get through, like I was gonna record Cornerbox Classics, and that all sort of happened, and so I did the Cornerbox Classics thing. So I did not get, I did not read Wolverine, Civil War Unmasked, which I was excited about, The Sentry, all of this, Fury of Firestorm. This has been sitting on the box for weeks. It's not, that book needs to be cut, but as I was in the video, that was not us biking up to the shops today. We drove because I'm just like, I'm on a timetable to get all this stuff out of here, and I don't have boxes. So the video was of us Monday pedaling up to the shop to to borrow some long boxes from my shop, because they are aware that I do not. But now I'm probably going to be buying boxes just so that I have them on hand. Because when we moved, I had a bunch of friends in the other shop that they had a bunch of boxes. Like boxes were much more available, and we were selling our old house, so like everybody kind of had a heads up. This was real, you know, this was a crisis. So you know, my pals that work in other shops were sort of like, no, man, we don't have any, like 2 months ago we had a ton, but not anymore. So thankfully my shop had a few, bought a couple, gonna have to buy more, and then might have to just wait till the very last night before they come in and throw them on the floor all over the place, and tie Hank up so he doesn't knock the piles over and get crushed by a mountain of Marvel team-ups. Yeah, so there's some books that are getting moved into the this week pile because I didn't get a chance to read them. But I did read a lot of stuff. I said I wasn't going to buy this, but I bought this because Henry grabbed this issue because he's like obsessed with Gobby's gliders. And so even Monday when we went up there to get the boxes, he grabbed another copy of this off the rack, did the thing where it was like, I'm gonna dog hear this thing, so you have to buy it, Dad. And I felt bad because I was asking to borrow boxes, and so I was like, sure, we'll get that, because I want a copy of it to complete this, and I'm sure that you want a copy to run around. I lamented the fact that I wasn't picking this up because I think there's too many spiders. I stand by that. However, this was the first comic book that my kid ever grabbed off of the rack, and like he was like, I'm gonna go read this, and went into the game room and like sat down at a table and did a whole cute thing that I'm not gonna put in the video because, you know, I put enough of him in there of just the bike rides because I want to see him grow up in this, but I don't, you know, want to overshare. But it meant a lot to me. And so, as dumb as I might think this book is, it gets elevated for my own personal reasons. So it was okay, but it was because of that. So there you have it. This was fun. You know, I'm a big Kevin Smith fan. I didn't see Clerks when it initially came out. My introduction to Kevin Smith was seeing Mallrats on the night that it opened. I think I talked a little bit about that last week because, like, my pals in Sponge were on the soundtrack and played the release party, and I saw the movie with my mom, and it was super uncomfortable because there's the whole topless fortune-telling scene that goes on for way too long. Lots of lines from films, though, so it was sort of like, you know, like, it was kind of a lot of like the Farley skit where he's talking to me, like, where I was just like, okay, like, yeah, I know what movie that line is from, but it was still fun. It was fun, and I read it last night, and this has sort of been overwhelming, you know, like, so it was nice to have a laugh. Like, and that's all I wanted from this. I didn't expect it to be like, oh, this is my pick of the week. I just enjoyed, you know, that. Mortal Thor, this was fantastic. The opening of this, between the Minotaur and Sigurd Jarlsson, was fantastic and absolutely something that in these particular times we needed to hear. And I, like, this was great. It was super uplifting. I'm enjoying the story. I think I really loved Immortal Thor, and I've really been digging Mortal Thor. I know that there's probably people out there that aren't, but I like, it's been a pretty interesting tale, and this was definitely a standout issue in that. Captain Marvel Dark Past. I've really been enjoying this. I like the Carol Danvers character. Teaming up with Spider-Woman is always good. And this has been like a fun kind of dive into Carol's past with her father, and a character that has a personal vendetta against her. And I don't know, I just dig it. Black Cat teamed up with the Punisher, or didn't team up with the Punisher. This was sort of... it's like a John Wick story where the Black Cat did something that upset the Punisher greatly, so he went after her. And it's like, not being a huge Punisher guy, you know, don't have an issue like the shows like John Barenthal, excited to see him in. But I have, you know, the first miniseries. I have the first however many issues of the second series. Have a couple of the War Journal runs and stuff like that, but it's never been a character that has completely hooked me, and I kind of like him more in other books, I think. And so it was fun. It was light, and I know there's people out there who are like, Punisher should not be light, but, you know, takes all kinds, I suppose. Daredevil, this has been a lot of fun, and I like... we're 3 issues in this. There's Spider-Man team up, which is always great. And the last run was so not good that this, like, I don't know. It's one of those things, like, when I read Zdarsky's Captain America and it wasn't clicking for me, the first couple of issues, because I think I was thrown off by, like, the Cap gets woken up in a post 9/11 world. That threw me off just because I'm an old timer. I don't know if I'm enjoying this as much as I am because I disliked the run before it so much that I'm just like, whoa, this is great. So I'm looking forward to, like, when the kind of the first arc is done, maybe reading it all together again. But so far, the first 3 issues have been a ton of fun, and I'm enjoying it, and, you know, I like it. This, it's like a roller coaster ride with my emotions. This wasn't a bad issue. The Tony Daniel on art definitely made it better than, I cannot think of the other character's name, the other artist's name. But the Tony Daniels art definitely elevated this. I think if it had been the Nico Diaz or something like that, I think that's the alternating artist on this. I think if it had been that artist, I wouldn't have enjoyed this as much as I did. But this was nice to see. Fun Beast. They were kind of on just this like mission to find a mutant, and it ends with Department H popping up at the very end of it, and I hope that will lead to maybe some Alpha Flight characters popping up. But surprisingly, like, this has not been my favorite of the X titles, but it's pretty good, which, you know, I love. Bishop #1. I really enjoyed this. I really love the Bishop character. He was introduced in the time period where I was like, you know, not that I haven't not been fully invested since I, you know, jumped into comics. But that would have been, like, he probably would have been, like, he and Gambit were in that sweet spot of, like, that's when I discovered comics. They were, like, the new characters that were introduced. And I mean, a time-traveling mutant, you know, I love Trevor Fitzroy's little Toy Biz figure was played with to death when I was a youngster. They need to make a Marvel Legend of that with the crystalline armor. Anyways, I love his sister Shard. I think she's a great character. She was Bishop in the 90s, had like kind of like a hologram of her. Like a message, and Forge was able to like bring that hologram to life, and so she was a part of X Factor for a really fun time period of that team, and I just really like that character. And so, you know, obviously she's prominently displayed in the background, so I assumed that this was going to have to do something with her. It does. There's flashbacks to her as a youngster, and then spoiler for last week's book, but she pops up at the very end of it, and I was very excited about that because I'm hoping with some timey-wimey stuff that we might be able to get Shard back into the Marvel Universe, which I would dig. So, my favorite book of last week was Avengers #803, which I was like, I thought this was an event, but it turns out it's just a continuation of the Avengers thing, but they've got Armageddon on it, which is giving me Bendis, like, vibes of they're going to decimate the whole team. But once I sat down and read Zdarsky's Captain America in kind of a chunk, I was like, okay, totally get it. This is great. It's following up on stuff from One World Under Doom, which I thought was a lot of fun. You know, I enjoyed that event. I have a feeling I am going to enjoy this even more. Art in this was fantastic. Delio Diaz and Frank Alpizar. It was great. And like, everybody's written well. You know, this was a ton of fun. This gives me a lot of faith for where this is going as an event. And I'm excited for it, man. I'm jazzed about it, and I'm really excited to be as excited as I am about new comics. So, those are last week's books. You're like, whatever, this is old news. What did you pick up this week? This week I picked up, I was watching everyone's Heroes Con stuff, which we talked about that. That was obviously before the hella expensive floor on top of the hella expensive garage door that we had to replace last week. It's been a busy time at BaseMint HQ. I've always wanted to go to Heroes Con. It's like that is the con for me. You know, Sleestacks, you know, all, like, literally every creator you could possibly imagine is there. It sounds like everyone goes to it. It would be fun to meet everyone that I've met in the community. That would be a blast. And there's some creators that were there that I'm definitely like, that are on, you know, Walt and Louise Simonson are on my list of like, holy smokes, I have a Walt Simonson signature on something, but I didn't get it. And I like to be able to thank creatives. And so that would be the con for me to go absolutely bananas. And I would have a blast, and it would be cool to meet everybody. That would be fun. And my wife has always wanted to go to North Carolina because, there's a television show that she likes that was filmed out there, and there's a lot of like places that you can visit from that show. So she's kind of wanted to go out there for that. And then we have a very, the film Empire Records, we're very, like, we like that movie, but then there's also the big scene in that, you know, the Damn the Man, Save the Empire scene, if you've ever seen that film, has our pals, like, their song playing throughout that entire scene, and that the storefront for Empire Records is down there. And so we were like, oh man, we could do that, you know. So we'd probably, like, we were talking about it, and would probably kind of build some time around that, maybe do like a week down there, so we could like be down there for a few days, so I'm not like rushing to get to the con. Do the con for the 3 days, which is a, you know, it seems like with the amount of creatives there that you would have to do that, and then have some time after, so it wasn't just like a rush. So sort of that's kind of our goal. I even over here made a Heroes Con jar, Heroes Con 2027 jar, which, you know, quickly became the new floor jar. But yeah, we're still planning on making it out for that, because I think it would be, it's definitely, like I said, it's the con that I have thought about going to for years, and then watching kind of everyone like gear up and get excited for this week. I definitely, like, it's weird. I don't normally get, like, I don't really get FOMO, but kind of just seeing the community be like, oh, we're all going to be there and dinner, and it seemed fun. So I was like, hey, you know, rumor is McGroovy might try to make it out next year possibly. So, you know, the hug that would happen if that were to happen, it'd be a good one. Anyways, one of the videos that I watched that was like prep for Heroes Con was Doc's Comics, and he had was showing off like some stuff that he had gotten in his haul before that, and he picked up this The British Are Coming graphic novel volume 1, which obviously, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory what it's about, but he kind of flipped through it and it looked pretty interesting. And I've been trying to when we like decided to have Henry, that's sort of when I kicked into high gear with getting a lot of obviously, like, Marvel superheroes are my bag. That's what this whole thing is. But I started to get, like, you know, I grew up on, like, those old definitive collections of the Calvin and Hobbes and Foxtrot and cartooning stuff. And I tried to get, like, source books and art books. And, you know, I have the Kingstone, like, Bible thing, which is, like, the entire Bible in comic book form. And so this, like, you know, being American history and stuff like that, and not rewritten, or, you know, fucking UFC fights. Oh, I was like, I'll, you know, that would be a good thing to have, you know, in case, you know, who knows? Everybody learns in different ways. So he might be a visual learner, you know. So it just seemed like a good thing to pick up, and I was interested in reading it. Sounds like it's got a lot of great reviews. There are a couple, I mean, beautiful art, like, you know, and like I said, I've branched out from my Marvel. I don't necessarily pick up indies all the time or whatever, because I, you know, but stuff like this, like, you know, sure, I'll check it out. I trust Doc. Okay, so then there's that. So then the single issues that I picked up, fuck me. Still haven't read issue number 6, and I didn't really enjoy the first 5, and I don't know why I can't just be like, hey guys, cut it. I love my shop, and I hold out hope, like, because I was gonna pull the plug, and then they did, it's like, I think I need to get to a point where it's like, if I'm not going to reread it, because there is stuff, man. There's stuff in here that I have probably read 50 times. Or there's things that I have tradition of. There's stuff that I want to go back. I look at this and I'm like, I'm not gonna, I don't think I'm ever going to be like, you know what I should do? I should sit down, make myself a nice pot of tea, read Sorcerer Supreme. It's probably not going to happen. So I just gotta make a decision. Come on, Sean. This could have gone into the Heroes Con pot. You son of a... Wonder Man. I have been enjoying this. I like Wonder Man. This has been, I'm sure, sillier than it should be, or that some people might want it to be, but I really dug Gary Duggan's. There was like a 10-issue series last year, like they all are now, of West Coast Avengers, and I really enjoyed it. Like it deserved to go a little bit longer. And this kind of has some of the same characters, obviously set in LA, you know, it's a Wonder Man thing, and it's fun. And, you know, you're going to hear me say that a lot over the years. It's fun. I like things that make me have fun. There's no point in being like, oh, I want to read a comic book that's going to make me bummed out or be morose. Didn't like the price tag. I love Hickman. I love Andy Kubert. Is it Andy? I think it's Andy. It's giving me Andy vibes, and I'm not seeing it. Come on. Why every time that I need a title page, are they like, we're going to make it like a movie, we're going to put it at the very end? Yeah. Nope, it's Adam. God damn it. Adam Kubert, Andy Kubert. I love them both. What am I going to do? What I don't love is MCU synergy. And so I am hoping that there is a reason why we're teaming up Spider-Man and the Hulk, and I believe the Punisher in this, because that oddly feels like a movie that's coming out, which I'm excited about, but I don't want to see it in my comics. I want them separate. I just, you know, comics need to push the movies, not the movies push the comics, okay? I'm excited. Listen, I'm going to be completely honest. I have 100% faith that Robert Downey Jr. would not come back to the Marvel Universe, nor would Chris Evans, unless they knew for a fact that they had nailed Doomsday, right? I got faith. Do I want to see Doctor Doom look like Robert Downey Jr. in my comics? No. No, I do not. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Oh, look, it's a Spider-Man and a Punisher team. I wonder why they're doing that. And it's got good art. It's a Spider-Man Punisher team up, and it could be great, but I really, like I said, I buy these things, and I'm like, please, 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 do not, like, yeah, you can be like, hey, we're going to put these things together because we got a movie coming out, and we want to remind people, but please do not. Like, don't make, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Everybody knows what I mean. Like, no. There's no need for it. Magic and Colossus, it's been fun. It's been fun. I desperately wanted a book that kind of, like, we're going to get into some stuff in Corner Box Classics where you're going to see me actually probably get weepy about the relationship between Illyana and Peter Rasputin. I truly believe that they are two of the most tragic characters, not only in comics, but in literature. And I will spend hours... I'll spend hours going on and on about it if people would let me. You can ask my wife. I'm sure first time I was ever like heavily medicated for some procedure that I needed to do. I went through the Summers family tree by using action figures while I was all hopped up on medication. And I'm sure at some point I probably went through the tragedy of Illyana Rasputin at that point. And so I was kind of hoping where I was like, oh, I really hope in this series that they kind of address some of the things that I don't necessarily like that they've done to Peter in recent decades. It's been a rough go for Pete. And they did. And it's been good. It's been cathartic to see these two kind of work through some stuff and maybe let go of some of that baggage and just be Magic and Colossus. And I've been enjoying it. I've not been enjoying Exceptional X-Men, and that's exactly what this is. They just slapped a different title on it. And yeah, I haven't really been digging it. And I think the whole, like, oh, the school's in the mind, it's like bad Krakoa. This has been a blast. It's been time travel-y, and it's got Boom Boom, and I love Boom Boom, and it's got Archangel, and I like Kamala Khan. I'm ambivalent about Helverine, but it is what it is, and this has been a ton of fun. And so I initially thought that it was like a 5-issue miniseries. It might just, nope, there's a number 7. Hooray! That's probably going to 10 issues too, but I'm excited that it's past just the like everything's a miniseries phase. Uncanny X-Men number 730. The title says Mars Needs Mutants, and that sounds awesome. And I love this team, and I've been enjoying this book. Teams knocks it out of the park for me. It's Gambit, it's Rogue, Nightcrawler, Jubilee, Wolverine. Like, that's a great X-Men team for me. That's, come on. And like, this looks like it's going to be, dare I say it, fun? I like fun. You know what else is fun? The talk. As much as I love a superhero punch-up, I love quiet Spider-Man issues, and I have a feeling with the revelation of last issue that this is going to be a humdinger. And I am, again, I am a person of faith, and so I have faith that Joe Kelly knows what he's doing and that this isn't going to be some huge letdown. And I was pretty jazzed because I wasn't super thrilled about the art in the previous couple of issues, but I do like Patrick Gleason on art, and so I don't want to flip through this too much because I would like to very much be surprised by it, and I'm looking forward to it. So there is that. Those are the books that I picked up this week. Along with that, and yeah, I am looking forward to catching up on last week's books. Normally I get through everything, but extenuating circumstances, and you know, what is going to be a stressful week for me will beget a wonderful room tour where I get to show the new. It's going to be the same. It's going to be the same setup. I mean, I'm taking very detailed photos of how I have everything set up so I can just, and everything's being boxed up all kind of together. Because when we moved here, we had a plan. Like, then the plan was we were going to put everything in the garage, move it in one at a time, and then some people helped out, and they did not listen to our plan. And the lovely woman who sold the house to us, she had not gotten rid of all of her stuff, because this house had just sat empty for like 2 years, and it was just full of shit, and the garage was packed to the rafters, and she was like, oh, I didn't get through it all. So while we were moving in, she was still moving out. Fucking nightmare. It was during the pandemic. It was a nightmare. It's a nightmare. So hopefully this goes smoother. You know, thank you for everyone who did watch Cornerbox Classics and showed concern. I appreciate it. Like I said, if it had been bad, you would have never seen me. I'd still be in a ball fucking crying. But thankfully, we knew, I even knew when we were out and it was raining the way it was, I was like, I got a bad feeling about this. I think that's why my wife felt so. But like I said, silver lining, new floor, new room tour, and my wife read some John Byrne Fantastic Four and was like, I really enjoyed this. And I was like, guess what? You'd enjoy a lot of it. I'm like, I'm going to hand you some Spider-Man. When she, because she has not finished Krakoa, she's got like 6 issues left. When she's done with that, I'm gonna hit her with a Spider-Man blue, a Daredevil yellow, and I'm gonna, you know, she's a time period person, so some Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale is gonna send her over the edge. But yeah, I'll hit her with some John Byrne Fantastic Four. Everybody should read John Byrne's Fantastic Four. All right, that's enough about that. This has gone on for too long, and I got stuff to do. I got so much stuff to do. So, like I said, if I'm not back this weekend, it's because it's Father's Day. So I'm probably going to take the kid on a bike ride We're going to do you got to watch the greatest father-son movie of all time, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That is my father's tradition. I was like, the second I became a dad, I was like, hooray! Not that I didn't watch it all the time when I wasn't a dad, but now I got a really good reason to. Plus, the kid's he's named after Hank McCoy and Dr. Henry Indiana Jones. My two favorite doctors. So that's how we're going to do it. Yeah, so, that's construction updates. Like I said, might not be around this weekend, so feel free. Catch up on some old classic. I don't know. Probably a Christmas in June or something. I don't know. Anyways, do what you want. I don't care. That's New Comic Book Wednesday. I gotta go rip up some tile. Thanks for taking this ride with us. Bye.